Interestingly, we haven't seen the indictments yet. There's been some time lag. I suppose it will take some time to go through all the forensic, evidence.
Why does it all come to a head now? Why now? Why?
Because he's the acceptable monster at this time, like R. Kelly was the last time I sat on this couch.
So who's next?
The acceptable monster.
Y'all don't see the lineup?
Oh, yeah, no.
Yeah, we see the lineup.
They say some secrets are too heavy to stay buried, especially when the person who buried them starts selling shovels. And right now, 50 Cent is being portrayed as doing exactly that, teasing explosive claims about Jay-Z's alleged proximity to Diddy's darkest controversies while quietly hunting for tapes he believes could change hip-hop history. The chatter isn't just about what appeared in Diddy's documentary, or why Jay-Z was conspicuously absent, but about what was left out and why 50 is reportedly paying top dollar for footage said to point toward a larger, hidden system. One where NDAs are rumored to function less like legal tools and more like shields for reputations. Online whispers stitch together old mysteries and unresolved questions, from long-debated tragedies and selectively missing names in testimony to uncomfortable origin stories that fans have argued over for years, all feeding a narrative that suggests something more organized than coincidence. As leaks multiply, lawsuits stack up, and timelines raise eyebrows, speculation keeps circling the same idea. That when the rest of whatever's being hinted at finally surfaces, it won't just rattle a few legacies. It could set the whole throne ablaze.
Say anything, you would interpret it as hip-hop is fine with his behaviors. There's no one else being vocal. So you would look at it and just say, because that mind your business, or let me not say nothing about nothing, or those things, it would allow the entire culture to register as if they're for that.
The first real fracture in the story came when 50 Cent didn't just comment on Jay-Z's absence from Diddy's Netflix documentary. He mocked it, posting a deepfake of Jay-Z's face on Lionel Richie's "You Are" video with the caption about the message Jay-Z allegedly sent when he realized he was cut. But with 50, trolling is never casual. It's a sign he's holding something significant, and the fact that Jay-Z's team hasn't sued or denied it speaks volumes. The documentary, Sean Combs' The Reckoning, dropped on December 2nd, 2025, and the omission of Jay-Z wasn't a mistake. It was deliberate. Sources say his legal team was in contact with Netflix weeks before release, raising the question. What were they so determined to hide that they left a glaring gap? Adding to the intrigue, Diddy's sentencing was adjusted again last week, cutting 9 days off his release to May 25, 2028. Another odd timing shift as leaks continue to surface.
Sean has to take responsibility for what he did as an individual. Sean is the one who pulled that gun out. Sean is the one who shot. So he has to take responsibility for that.
The whispers in the right circles aren't about Diddy's 2 solicitation convictions. They're about the charges he narrowly escaped, the ones that could have destroyed him for life. Racketeering, human trafficking, and other allegations that erase careers entirely. Jay-Z's name never appeared in court, not as a witness or a defendant, despite his and Diddy's long history together. From No Way Out to nightclub shootings, a partnership that's always been about control, not just music. But when Cassie Ventura's 2023 lawsuit surfaced, detailing coerced freak-off sessions with male performers while Diddy allegedly watched, Jay-Z's name was conspicuously absent, even though insiders who later settled claim he was present enough times to make you question what else got buried under legal threats and 7-figure payoffs. And in 50 Cent's documentary, footage shows Diddy's lawyers panicking the night before his arrest, screaming about loose ends, plural, hinting there's more buried beneath the surface.
As I said, never before seen footage of the days leading up to his arrest. Can you just talk a little bit about, was there anything that surprised you from that footage?
The footage, well, I mean, I think it's rare to find someone who's being, talked about all over the country. All eyes were on him, so to speak. And it was really interesting to see his last days of freedom.
The real story isn't just what the documentary showed, but what happened in the 48 hours after its release. First, Diddy's legal team hit Netflix with a cease and desist, calling the footage stolen and the project a shameful hit piece. Next, 50 Cent posted and quickly deleted a cryptic text screenshot captioned, They offered me 10 to cancel it. I said 20, hinting at millions being offered to bury the story. And finally, a Roc Nation insider revealed that Jay-Z had been on the phone with his lawyers nonstop, not to sue, but to manage damage behind the scenes. This all ties back to Jay-Z's last public comment in December 2024 on the Jane Doe lawsuit accusing him and Diddy of assault, in which he didn't deny the allegations but simply claimed the accuser was lying for money. A move that, if you've been following closely, is often the calm before the storm of receipts dropping.
Morning, rap mogul Jay-Z is denying allegations he assaulted a 13-year-old girl alongside rapper Sean Diddy Combs. That civil lawsuit filed against Combs in October was amended Sunday to include Jay-Z. The accuser, identified only as Jane Doe, says she was assaulted by both.
Then there's the matter of the tapes, not the ones in the documentary, but the ones 50 has been quietly shopping around, reportedly willing to pay top dollar for, and allegedly containing footage of celebrities, athletes, and politicians. Insiders claim Diddy didn't just record his own parties. He recorded everyone's. And if Jay-Z was ever present, that footage could be catastrophic, exposing far more than a simple misstep. This isn't a story of a man caught with his hand in the cookie jar. It's about someone who spent decades building an image so untouchable that accusations usually bounce off. The respectable billionaire, the conscious rapper, the devoted family man whose wife's brand centers on female empowerment, all while allegedly participating in the silencing of women harmed by the same system that elevated her. Suddenly, the issue isn't just Jay-Z's actions. It's what Beyoncé knows, and more importantly, what she might be willing to conceal.
How do you know I'm not a gangster? Or used to be a gangster? I've been in the music industry for 30 years.
Yeah, I mean, the industry's filled with gangsters.
The other puzzle is how the industry has shifted since the documentary dropped. Not just damage control, but actual moves that make you question who's pulling strings. Diddy's prison release date keeps shifting slightly in his favor, and just 3 days after the doc premiered, a second Jane Doe filed a lawsuit naming an unnamed male co-conspirator whose description matches Jay-Z's down to age, height, and even scars from a 1999 stabbing incident. The filings remain sealed, but insiders say the details align too perfectly to be anyone else. And yet Jay-Z's team has stayed silent. No denial, no outrage, just a silence that's beginning to feel like admission. The most damning element isn't even the lawsuits or tapes, but the pattern. Career milestones and tragedies, from Biggie's death in the late 90s to Aaliyah's plane crash in 2001 coinciding with Beyoncé's solo launch, or Rihanna being signed at 16 in 2005, all seem to follow a disturbing rhythm of replacement. Those who've tried to speak, like Jaguar Wright, vanished after questioning Aaliyah's death, only to return enraged, connecting dots like Jay-Z and R. Kelly's close ties before Aaliyah passed, or how their Best of Both Worlds album disappeared once the heat was on. It paints a picture not just of one man's alleged crimes, but of a system where bodies are buried, careers replaced, and the only thing that ever truly changes is the name on the album cover.
Weirdo. Don't get no what you got in your head, that neural link. You'll never outthink me. Ever.
Here's where the story twists. While everyone's focused on Diddy's trial and 50 Cent's leaks, a quieter, more dangerous conversation has been unfolding about the other names on those tapes. Not Diddy's, but the ones that could explain Jay-Z's intense efforts to contain this. These infamous parties weren't just thrown. They were meticulously documented by security, assistants, and others who've since moved on. And if even one speaks, everything unravels. The question isn't just whether Jay-Z was present, it's whether he was orchestrating it, and if so, every hit record, Grammy, and billion-dollar deal suddenly reads less like success and more like protection money. In the weeks after the documentary, 3 of Jay-Z's long-term business partners quietly distanced themselves, while Beyoncé's team responded to a new Jane Doe filing not with denial, but an aggressive cease and desist so forceful it leaked before being sent, clearly signaling they know what's being uncovered. Patterns emerge. Women in his orbit, from Aaliyah to Cassie to Rihanna, repeatedly become collateral, like the 16-year-old from Barbados flown in at 3 a.m. to sign a contract with only Jay-Z and a stack of papers present. Systems like this function only until someone refuses to play along, and right now, 50 isn't just refusing. He's rewriting the rules, proving that everything, especially the truth, is up for sale.
About this very public, long-standing feud that you've had with Sean Combs. So what brought you to this project?
Well, I just want to make really hit television. I like the idea of it being exciting, and I picked this project and started working on it about 5 months before I found Alex. And I know that she has the artistic integrity that it would take to make it.
The real kicker, the part keeping insiders holding their breath, isn't just the tapes, lawsuits, or how Jay-Z's name keeps nearly surfacing in filings. It's the timing. Diddy's appeal is approaching, 50 Cent's next release is imminent. And if the rumors are true, what's on those tapes isn't just incriminating. It's career-ending, the kind of evidence that doesn't just cancel you, it erases you. Now the only question is who will move first. Diddy from his prison cell trading secrets for freedom, 50 dropping the final bomb that blows the story wide open, or Jay-Z doing what he always does, ensuring the right people disappear before the truth sees the light. History shows men like him don't lose, they adjust. And right now, the board is set, the pieces are moving, and one thing is certain. When this game ends, someone will walk away with everything, and someone else will be buried along with the rest of the secrets. The only question is which?
They were having a hard time taking her solo. And then Aaliyah.
The deeper you dig, the clearer it becomes that the real story isn't about the headlines today. It's about a pattern hidden in plain sight for decades. Jay-Z's rise wasn't just about talent. It started in 1999 when he beat a stabbing charge through a plea deal while the victim recanted years later. Then continued with Aaliyah's tragic plane crash in 2001, which coincided with Beyoncé emerging from Destiny's Child's shadow, and later with Rihanna's career launch. A 16-year-old flown alone from Barbados for a contract signing that stretched into the early hours. These aren't coincidences, they're transitions, enforced exits making room for carefully orchestrated entries. Those who've questioned it, like Jaguar Wright, often faced devastating consequences, revealing this isn't just scandal, but a blueprint. The biggest music careers built not on talent, but on silence bought, enforced, and strategically maintained. Cassie Ventura's lawsuit settled within 24 hours, Jane Doe dropped her case fearing for her safety, and Aaliyah's family sued Virgin Records instead of demanding a real investigation. These aren't isolated events. They're mechanisms designed to protect the untouchable, bury inconvenient truths, and ensure the right names keep rising while others are quietly erased.
The goal of what the film is trying to do is to let the audience kind of come in to ask questions like, in a trial where there's so much media coverage, before, during, and after, were their decisions, colored by certain things, and who got the benefit of the doubt, in that courtroom, and it's.
Here's where it really gets interesting, because while most people are focused on Diddy's legal troubles and 50 Cent's leaks, a deeper layer has been unfolding in the background. One involving the people who've benefited most from this system. Beyoncé's entire brand is built on female empowerment, yet she's never publicly questioned the treatment of women within her husband's inner circle. While Jay-Z's biggest power moves, Tidal, the NFL deal, the billion-dollar empire, came after the moments his rivals fell. From Biggie to Aaliyah to Diddy now absorbing the legal fallout while Jay-Z remains untouched. Rihanna's early career, managed under Roc Nation with Jay-Z as her mentor, only adds to the unease, especially with claims that she wasn't allowed to leave the office until she signed, and with Jay-Z remaining silent, as his name keeps nearly surfacing in legal filings. And that's where we leave it for now, because the story is far from over. The tapes still exist, the lawsuits keep coming, and unanswered questions continue to pile up. How many more women, how many more deals, how many more tragedies dismissed as accidents? And when the final secret drops, who will still be standing? The throne isn't empty yet, but it's getting crowded. And when the dust settles, the last one seated may be the one who burns with it.